So from the introduction, you can make out I am the one man, odd man here among you all. So, respected Shri, Chairman All India Power Engineers Federation, Mr. Prabhakar, General Secretary, respected patrons, Ashok Garu, P.N. Singh Garu, Padmajit Singh Garu, and my colleague, CMD, TSGENCO Prabhakar Garu, and General Secretary, Telangana State Power Engineers Association, Sadanand Garu, colleague directors, engineer delegates all over the country, ladies and gentlemen. In fact, I am a little diffident to stand before you and say a few words after hearing the luminary engineers on the dais. And it's always difficult to be an end speaker also. So there is no other goal. I have also scribbled something just to place before you all. I extend my warm greetings on the occasion of All India Power Engineers Federation Federal Council meeting here, and welcome you all to this pearl city of Hyderabad. You can enjoy pleasant weather apart from Hyderabad biryani. Of course, I don't know the taste, I am a vegetarian, but Hyderabad biryani is very famous. So those who want to enjoy, please do it. At the outset, I thank Shri for his kind words towards the Telangana state government and also to the power sector in particular. It's a remarkable tradition set up by All India Power Engineers Federation to deliberate on all the burning issues of power sector. It is a well-known fact that Federation consists members who are the practicing engineers, having insight, knowledge of power sector and its complexities threadbare. I am particularly grateful to Mr. Prabhakar for giving me an opportunity to be in the midst of you this present morning and present afternoon, that is especially among the power engineer delegates from all over the country in this happening city of Hyderabad. It is gratifying to note that the Federation not only emphasizes the need for protecting the rights of the member engineers, but also strives hard to save the public sector, power utilities from irrational policies of various stakeholders in public interest. I believe that the initiative of Federation in conducting national conferences on critical issues of power sector would go a long way in empowering all the stakeholders. I am also glad to note that the initiative of the Federation in conducting this kind of national summit at Hyderabad would be an added advantage to Telangana state power utilities. Presently, the power sector is undergoing a paradigm shift and new technologies are being adopted on a continuous basis. These technologies are posing different challenges for the power sector, which need to overcome in a time-bound manner so that this sector continues to evolve as a dynamic and successful entity. To address these challenges, several study-based and research-oriented initiatives in the sector are of vital importance, which needs to be coordinated at all India level to avoid the duplication of efforts and resources by different organizations and also to bring about efficiency in the sector. It is our pride that this summit today deliberates on the current status of our sector with a due recognition of the exceptional work done by Telangana Power Utilities with the unstinted support from the government of Telangana under the dynamic leadership of our beloved Chief Minister, who made an impossible task to a possible one by in creation of the Telangana, formation of the Telangana state. Friends, earlier speakers, they were also talking about the models. In my opinion, model is not important. Sometime back, a noted journalist by name Mr. G.K. Reddy, he visited USSR and also USA. Few years back, he happened to see few cars parked in a factory in USSR. And same gentleman, he again happened to visit USA. He visited a factory there also. He has seen the number of vehicles parked, more number of vehicles. When he inquired, he was told that these vehicles they belong to the workers. And when he inquired in USSR, he was told that these vehicles, this belongs to GM, this belongs to CEO and all that. So, ism is not important. Model is not important. A socialistic country like Russia, and I am telling you in those days, only few people they are possessing the vehicles and they were enjoying the life. But in a capitalistic country like America, almost the workers, they were also on par with that of the almost the well-to-do people. So here also, the model, which model, whether it is private or government model, that is not, I personally feel, that's not important. As long as the consumer gets reliable, adequate and affordable power at his end. That should be the aim of whether it is of a private sector or of the public sector. And we were also discussing about the stressed assets. Stressed assets, I don't find fault with the promoters. It is the mistake of the funding agencies, be it PFC or REC or the banks. They must have properly appraised. Because proper appraisal was not done, just now our eminent engineer, Mr. Ashok Rao, was telling, without PPA, how they have achieved the financial closure. But of course, I will come to this little later part. There is a suggestion from the Federation to amend the PPAs. I don't think that it is possible. That is the mistake done by our AP state. As a result, we are put to lot of hardship. Unilaterally, they have cancelled the BPS, which is not upheld by the state ERC. So these are all some of the factors, I think, which we need, which I think you have to deliberate it in your afternoon session. And another, of course, one speaker was also comparing China with our India. See, the problem with us, I always, whenever I happen to address some of these meetings, I tell them that China is more populated than us. But you see their growth and our growth. The main drawback with us is the indiscipline. Chinese people are more disciplined. And our another drawback is our improper planning. These are our true drawbacks: improper planning and indiscipline. Population is not our problem. So if we are, and the commitment, we have got the commitment. Absolutely. See, there is no depth of commitment by us. That is the testimony of the Telangana state power sector is that because there is a commitment, what we are today and what we were a few years back. I will come to that, what Telangana is today and what it was also just before the formation of the state. I do believe I have gone through the agenda items of today's meeting, and I think the Federation has taken up very appropriate issues which are of paramount importance for the betterment of the power sector. I touch upon those issues very briefly. The electricity bill, the Electricity Amendment Bill 2014 aims to further divide the unbundled electricity industry. The distribution sector is proposed to be split into wire and content. This means that, like transmission, even distribution licensee will only deal with the physical flow of electricity, and another organization, the supply licensee, will deal with the sale of electricity. The bill would enable, in any area, multiple licensees. The supply licensees could buy electricity from the distribution company or buy directly from the generating company and sell to final consumer at their best terms and rates. The main purpose of changing legislation is to improve the financial health and reduce the losses in the sector. I think that may be the aim for any amendment. Before discussing the merits and demerits of proposed 2014 amendment bill, let us review the reforms in the power sector implemented from late 90s, bringing in regulatory setup and unbundling the former SCBs into generation, transmission and distribution companies, with an aim that the government shall withdraw from sales and pricing and improve the internal efficiency in the sector. Ultimately, as I was telling, supplying reliable and affordable power to the consumers. But neither the accumulated losses have come down, nor the T&D losses are substantially reduced. Despite our physical performance being very good. See, unfortunately, what is happening, our physical performance is very good. Take, for that matter, any utility, any state. But we are not able to translate that into a financial performance. That is the main drawback. Why? We are not responsible for that. So that is to be deliberated. Unfortunately, we are not able to translate our physical performance into financial performance. We are all aware that power projects are highly capital intensive and gestation period also is too long. None of the Utilities have internal resources to fund, especially our public utilities. Be it generation, transmission, or distribution, funding is necessary. So unless our balance sheet is strong, nobody will come forward to fund the project. Of course, IPPs, they can get funding without PPA, without coal linkage and all that. They can get away with that. But not the state-run generation companies or transmission companies for that matter, even the distribution companies. So funding is necessary. Equally important is recovery. My friend, he has already, Mr. Reddy, my colleague, has already said, DISCOMs have only two sources of revenue. That is, by sale of energy or subvention by the government. Unfortunately, we are not able to recover the full cost because the purpose of reforms are lost. The SCRCs are not functioning independently. The requirement of the DISCOMs are thrown down at the behest of the government by the state regulatory commissions. Further, the government is not providing the support, at least as fixed by the state regulator. Two ways, DISCOM, it is getting disadvantage. Subsidies provided by the DISCOMs to various categories of the consumers at the behest of the government are also not reimbursed by the government. Open access, already Mr. Reddy has dealt with it. Even Telangana state, we are losing nearly 500 to 600 crores per annum because of the open access. Open access has further worsened the financial health of the DISCOMs. And of course, our other maladies are there, non-metering of 100% services, theft, commercial losses, and T&D losses. So this is the situation of the power sector in the country. Now I would like to tell you little about our Telangana power sector. The power situation at the time of formation of the state, that was on 2nd June 2014, there was a shortage of nearly 2,700 megawatts of peak demand and 4 to 8 hours of load relief to domestic and other categories. 2 days power holiday to industries. Erratic power supply of 4 to 6 hours to agriculture sector, leading to crop failure and farmer suicides. Farmer deaths due to accidents and snake bites because of the supply was given during the night time. And this was earlier when at the time of state formation. But within a short time, within 6 months, almost within 6 to 8 months, we have achieved a turnaround. Now the present situation, the power supply position now, the contracted capacity increased to 15,370 megawatts from 7,778 megawatts at the time of state formation. The transmission capacity, there is absolutely no use just having the generation capacity. Parallelly, we have to have the transmission and distribution capacity also. So the transmission capacity improved to 25,682 MVA from 14,059 MVA. And the transmission availability is 99.8%. And the plant availability also of all the generating stations is around 90%. And we were discussing about the PLF. Sir, nowadays PLF, because after injecting this renewable energy, PLF hereafter may not be a factor. Plant availability is important nowadays. Necessarily, because as per Government of India policy, we have to go for the renewable energy. Then when you inject renewable energy, then necessarily we have to back down the thermal stations. So what I personally feel, hereafter, PLF may not be a factor, but plant availability is the factor. And Telangana is the only 24 hours quality reliable power supply to all categories of consumers, including the agriculture. We have got nearly 24 lakhs of agricultural consumers. And Telangana is the only state to supply 24 hours free power to 23 lakh agricultural consumers, 24 lakhs agricultural consumers. No farmer deaths as they are getting power supply during the daytime, and all the pending agricultural connections are also released by the discoms. And the per capita consumption in the state, which used to be around 1,000 units, it went to 1,507 units, as against all India average of 1122 units, which is I think 33% more than the all India average. And to reach this situation, to provide 24 hours power supply to agriculture, transmission and distribution system is strengthened with an investment of around 17,500 crores. And TSGENCO, as already stated by our respected Dubeji, 6,000 megawatts of thermal power plants are being constructed. As against that, 800 megawatts plant we have already synchronized within a span of 41 months, as against the CEA norm of 48 months. All credit to our engineers working in TSGENCO. And the plant availability is 90% plus, all our thermal units. The transformer failure rate is drastically reduced from 26.7% in 2014 to less than 6.61% in 2018 due to extension of 24 hours supply to farmers. And government also is giving us the subsidy. We are getting 4,984 crores to the power sector for providing free power to agriculture and subsidized power to other categories. State government has taken over 8,293 crores of discoms loan under this Uday scheme. Telangana power utilities have absorbed. This is a great decision by our Honorable Chief Minister. Around 22,500 outsourced personnel, they have been absorbed in TSGENCO, TRANSCO and distribution companies. In fact, they were not asking the absorption. They wanted only, because they were getting paid through the contractor, they wanted a direct payment. But our Honorable Chief Minister, he was so gracious enough and so human. He said, he has asked me only one question, whether you need their services or not. If you need their services, do you think that they don't require the employment security? Then you absorb them all. So we have absorbed all the around 23,000 outsourced employees and in various cadres, but unfortunately that has been stayed by the High Court here. But even then, as already stated by Mr. Dubeji, we are paying salaries much more than the Labour Act. And TNT network is being further augmented to cater to the lift irrigation load of 9,000 megawatts. I think you also must have seen our Chief Minister, his importance. First he has given the importance to power, then to the irrigation. Nearly one Kaleshwaram project and also another Palamodu lift irrigation projects. Because we cannot get water, this Telangana being a plateau, there is no way that we can get the water by gravity. Though two perennial rivers are in the state, Krishna and Godavari. So immediately after taking over, he himself, he has designed the two projects and almost 300 TMC of water will be lifted. It's almost equal to our Nagarjuna Sagar project live capacity. And for that, we require nearly 9 to 10,000 megawatts of power. So taking that into account, we have also designed our projects, and even NTPC, they are putting up a 4,000 megawatts project at Ramagundam as per the State Reorganization Act. As against that, already 2 into 800, they will be commissioned by the next year end. And the solar power capacity, Mr. Ramareddy already said, we have got nearly 3,402 megawatts, second in the country. And the Telangana Solar Power Policy 2015 has been regarded as one of the best policies in the country and has created an enabling environment for harnessing the solar potential in a big way. As part of development of green power, 3,407 megawatts of solar power has been connected to the grid, enabling the state to maintain reliable and uninterrupted power supply. Another 1,800 megawatts of solar power will be commissioned by 2019-20. In Telangana, the solar capacities have been added in different voltage levels across the state under the distributed generation model, which helped in optimal transmission network and better grid management. But as a result of that, as I was telling, there is absolutely, we have to back down the thermal stations. It's a policy of the government. We are helpless there. These tremendous achievements of the power sector would not have been a reality without the relentless efforts of all the engineers who have contributed a lot to the best of their abilities. With the concerted efforts, we will definitely succeed in making Telangana power surplus by 2019-20. On this occasion, I request the delegates of this federation to share the valuable experiences and exchange the technical know-how on latest trends in power sector in view of the modern day challenges, innovations and environmental issues. As rightly pointed out by your federation, the 2014 amendment with regard to SCRCs, that it shall be guided by tariff policy of Government of India, that restricts the independence of SCRCs. But your suggestion regarding or amending the PPAs, I think it may not be possible, since the PPA is a legal document binding on either parties. Recently also, Supreme Court also has pronounced a judgment in this Adani case, Tata's and Adani's case. We have no option there unless PPA is there. See, that's exactly the reason what happened to Telangana. We have suffered initially. Unilaterally they have cancelled the PPAs, AP government. As a result, they have not scheduled around 2,000 megawatts of power to Telangana. So that again, you have to again deliberate on this issue. And I welcome your suggestion that utilities are to be headed by professionals. You have seen in Telangana, and I always say whenever I happen to address our engineers, nothing moves without power and power engineers, and power does not move without finance. I think that is the reason why our Honorable Chief Minister, he must have selected me as the CMD of Telangana Generation Corporation and later for the Telangana Transmission Corporation. So, yes, it is to be headed by professionals only. This is one condition when the Honorable Chief Minister asked me to take over the Generation Corporation and Transmission Corporation. I requested them, sir, with one or two conditions, if you can agree, I am willing to take over. One is that there shall not be any IAS officer in the power sector. And the second one, the generation and transmission should be headed by your request also. You wanted again to go back to the old STB days. That is another thing I said, sir, for proper coordination, both the corporations should be headed by one person, so that there will be proper coordination and integration. Those two things is accepted by our Honorable Chief Minister, and you are seeing the results today. So, sir, I agree with you that though it may not be again back to old APSCB, at least like the TSGENCO in Tamil Nadu, so that GENCO and distribution companies are together. And one more suggestion, I did it at the time of unbundling the APSCB. Of course, that was not accepted by the then government. I wanted all the utilities to be headed by the MDs, and there shall be one common chairman. So, as member accounts or as member finance, I suggested that to the then government, but somehow the then principal secretary, Mr. Sampath, who later on became the chief election commissioner, he was not in favor of it. So that would have been, even today, I suggest that all the 4 utilities to be headed by one chairman, and all the entities, all the 4 companies to be headed by the managing directors. So that will have proper integration, proper coordination, and the problems what my predecessor, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Prabhakar said with regard to employees or anything else will not be arising. It is highly appreciable that All India Power Engineers Federation has been striving hard for the development of Indian power sector in general and engineering fraternity in particular. The Federation will continue to take the lead role in the country in introducing many more proactive initiatives for the betterment of power sector in future too, which will in turn result in rapid industrial growth in the country. I request you to discuss and deliberate the course correction. That is what is required. We know, we have already seen, since both privatization and franchise models have failed miserably and pushed the sector into financial crisis. So then what is that we need? We don't want privatization. Some of even the government utilities are also not doing well. So what is the course correction? That has to be deliberated and submitted to the government of India. On behalf of Telangana Power Utilities, I wholeheartedly congratulate ABEF for conducting this major event here at Hyderabad. I do wish this Federation Council meeting a grand success. I wish you all a very pleasant stay in this happening city of Hyderabad and have a good biryani, and some of those lady delegates, they can also go to Charminar area. You get good bells and good blankets and all that. I wish you all a very comfortable stay. Once again, I thank the organizers and Mr. Prabhakar for giving me this opportunity to be in the midst of you this present morning. Thank you all.